Please read the disclaimer. Great news, XRP holders, Bitcoin holders. The thing that we had been waiting for the past few days happened. As expected, or wishful thinking maybe, the CME gap closed. Bitcoin pulled back to 88,000. And the question is, Avi, why are you happy that the market sold off? Why are you happy that XRP is currently at $1.90? Well, it's because it's a silver lining, okay? We have been talking about the fact that there was that CME gap that opened up on January 1st, and it's already 3 weeks since New Year's. Crazy, right? 3 weeks passed since the beginning of the year, and we had that CME gap. Now, previously, we had two big CME gaps that opened up on the weekend, and it took about 3-4 months until those gaps were closed, and it created a situation where the market felt, oh, yes, it's breaking out, we're going up, we're going to see the crescendo, and that didn't happen because the gap needed to be closed, right? This is just it's kind of cooked into to how crypto works. And so the fact is, right now, this is how it is. The CME gap has a lot of effect on the price of Bitcoin. And so when we had that CME gap go unclosed, I thought to myself, with high probability, we are going to see a pullback. Now, it didn't mean that that was going to happen, but my wishful thinking was that if that does happen, it would be better off to happen a few days later, a few weeks later, then a few months later. A situation of us, for example, seeing the market breaking out, create new all-time highs, and then sell off of that, because I thought that that would be more detrimental to a short-term sell-off that coincided with the stock market selling off, with the whole situation in Greenland. And some people might be confused, like Ash here asking, the question, yesterday Saylor bought $2 billion worth of Bitcoin, but the price crashed by $5,000. How is that possible, right? And Bull Theory says this is wild, right? There's a few things. First of all, Saylor didn't buy it all in one chunk, right? He has been buying. Actually, his price was at 95,000 where he bought. So he bought around here. Could be that he bought on the way up, and that was pushing the price all the way up to 97,000. And then it sold off on the anticipation of the current situation in Greenland, right? And it keeps coming back to these rare earths, right? If you remember, this whole situation with China, the US and China back in October, and sequentially the October 10th sell-off or crash, right? You could call it a crash, I think, was around the rare earth metals. They were fighting about that. China had closed exports, and Trump was saying we're going to put 100% tariff on China because of that. Well, we're coming back to it now again, right? Greenland holds a significant amount of these rare earth metals, and an industry that's now dominated by China. It keeps coming back to rare earths. Greenland holds an estimated 1.5 million metric tons of rare earth reserves. This makes Greenland the 8th largest holder of rare earth reserves. Even more important, Greenland has effectively zero rare earth production in 2025. Production is near zero due to lack of funding and necessary infrastructure. Greenland is estimated to have up to $5 trillion worth of natural resources. This is equivalent to roughly 20% of the US GDP and almost entirely untapped. This is why Greenland is so incredibly valuable. Of course, there's the strategic point, it's between Europe and America and all that, the trading routes and all that. But at the end of the day, it's about the dinero, right? About the potential of what can be brought out of that land. Now, if we go back and we look at XRP and where XRP is right now, XRP is currently sitting at $1.90, up 0.93% on the day. It did drop all the way down to 186. Let's call it 187 because it's 186.97. And this was coinciding with Bitcoin dropping down to close the gap. Since then, we've seen it rise up a little bit. Okay, and it will be very interesting to see. We're still higher than we were, on December 31st. So silver lining, the year is still up 3.5% year to date. If we go and we look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin's up 1.88. Ethereum is still under 3,000, is actually red on the year. Solana is up 2.4% on the year. So if we look at XRP in that spectrum, we can say, okay, it's in line with the rest of the top four. And we can look at other assets like altcoins, of course, Pepe that went on that huge run. It's still up 26% year to date because it had such a big movement. We're seeing a little bit of a detachment between the larger caps to the mid caps or the smaller caps. And so that's normal. We're going to see a situation where a lot of money right now, and it makes sense, is going to gold and silver, right? And so if you're in the crypto market right now, the gold and silver looks very, very enticing. Now, again, this video is for educational purposes, for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before deciding to invest. I'm a very big believer in diversification. And so, yes, gold, silver, crypto, stocks, real estate, it's important to be invested in a broad array of things because you never know what's going to happen. You could have real estate could be amazing, and then you could be a situation where, I don't know, the state you live in changes some tax rule, and then it's not viable for you to hold real estate anymore, or it's not worthwhile. Prices are going down, rents are going. Like, you never know what could potentially happen. It's always a weird situation. Just a story time. Story time. So, if you remember, right? Do you remember the ballistic missile hit, not too far away from me? And sadly, some people were unalive there. And the building and the building next to it are still not people are still not living in them. Like, they didn't redo it yet. It's a very big building, and it hit on the lower levels. So just from a standpoint of, is the structure stable, and things like that. So people are still not living there. So the whole two buildings of people needed to find somewhere else to live. And what did that cause? It caused a situation where, in that neighborhood, in my neighborhood, suddenly had an influx of people that were looking for places to live because they wanted to stay in the same basically location, but there was no apartments, right? So there was an influx and rent prices went up. And so you never know what's going to happen. Like, that was a bad thing that pushed the prices up. Maybe you're going to have a good thing that pushes the prices down. So again, anything can happen. Did you have on your bingo card that Greenland would be the reason why the markets were selling off for the past few days? Probably not at the beginning of the year. So it's very important to be up to date with everything that's happening. If you are interested in day-to-day movements, if you are interested in what's going on, of course, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. We do 2 videos a day, sometimes 3, depending on, the news cycle and if there's a lot to talk about. So ring the bell so you get a notification when a new video drops. For some reason, the morning videos get a lot more attention. I don't know, it's the algorithm, what's ever going on. I'm out of it's been 3 months since my vacation, if you remember. So I don't know if you noticed, but at the end of the video, I brought back the catchphrase last night. So if you watch that and notice that. Also, if you want to, check out the swag, we got the swag, and you can check out also my website here. The website is here. So if you're interested, and then you can go and you can see the affiliate links if you're interested in trading. And then you can go down also and you can see all the swag through here, right? If you're interested in getting a nice sweatshirt. I really like these. I wear them all winter. So if you're interested, check those out. If we go back to what's happening with XRP, if we look at the technicals and we look what's going on, we're now in a situation where almost all the moving averages are giving us a strong sell signal. Right? And again, many times, the only one that's the 9-day whole moving average and the Ichimoku, which is usually, I've never seen it not neutral. Okay. But all the other ones, all the other time frames are with a sell. And we've seen in the past, usually when this happens, when everything is bright red, it's close to the bottom and it very, very fast flips to the other side. Now, again, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not a prophet, but this is just what history has told us. Maybe this time history is different. Okay, on the oscillators, it's kind of a mixed bag. Bitcoin is similar. Bitcoin is everything red except the Ichimoku, and Ethereum is also all red except the Ichimoku. So right now, when we're looking at these time frames, it's all not looking great for the crypto market. I know, again, like I said, a lot of money, and it's interesting. It's like geopolitical fears. Okay, so money is running to gold and silver, but theoretically, it should be running towards Bitcoin as well, right? Bitcoin is supposed to be the digital gold, but people are selling off. Is this a factor of no hype? So just people are going where the hype is? Or is there something fundamentally that got broken on October 10th and it's still oozing out, even with, the sailors of the world that are continuing to accumulate? The price action is still oozing out because of the whoever got hurt there is still recuperating and still relieving assets every time that there's a little bit of a move to the upside, they're relieving assets. We'll never know, I think, the full story of what's going on. Some are saying that the crypto traditional bull cycle is over, meaning that the 4-year cycle of how it potentially acts here, and this is from leading OTC desk Winter Minute. They do a lot of shenanigans as well, or you can see it going through them, saying crypto is entering a new phase where liquidity concentration and institutional positioning are replacing the speculation driven cycles that define previous bull runs. And again, this could be because the fact is that as crypto became more mainstream, retail had less effect because of the institutions. If you think about it, let's say institutions come in and these institutions have $10 billion to invest in the crypto market. Well, all of the potential retail that could be coming into the market, let's say, is around 1 billion or so back in the day in 2017 and even before in 2021, that $1 billion of entering new retail had a lot more effect than if you have institutions coming in now and maybe, covering, hedging, shorting, right? We have the ETFs. They can short, they can buy puts, they can do all kinds of shenanigans with the ETFs. So there's a whole new thing that's happened. Of course, there's also the leverage exchanges where you can use leverage and you can hedge on the positions. And so maybe these institutions are smarter than the retail because they are more experienced in new retail. I'm not talking about you, right? I'm talking about new people that come into the market. Usually, if the market's coming up, they only see the green. They don't see the possibility of a pullback. They haven't experienced enough. And so institutions, they have experience. They've experienced all kinds of things, or people there have experienced all kinds of things. So it's a totally different scenario and it's a totally different situation. And, algos and AI have affected, I think, a lot of what's going on as well. I'm a long-term believer in the crypto market. Again, day to day, month to month, week to week, not really affecting my mindset. I more look at yearly, 5-year, 10-year. These are my plans. Of course, I have short-term, actions and things that I'm doing. I still have, those positions open that we talked about on BYDFI, and the XRP one is in the red right now. I'm not freaking out about it. There's going to be ups and downs. Again, if you're interested in trading with BYDFI, we do have the XRP giveaway right now where you trade and earn XRP. And you can sign up using my link. And then the more you trade, the more XRP you're available. It's only 10 more days for that. And again, you go to my website through the page here, through my website, and then you can click here. Maybe I'll even put the link now in the description now that the 3 months are over. Maybe we can be a little bit more, we can put the links in the description and we'll see potentially what is going to happen with that. Again, I will get a commission. So thank you for that. If you do use my commission, do use my link, I will get a commission, and then it helps us keep the lights on. That's one of the things that helps even when, the interest is good or bad, is the fact that, that's how you can support. If you're already trading, and you want to help out and you want to, help us continue to operate. So that's a way you can do that, right? If you're trading anyway. I'm a little bit losing my voice right now. I don't know if you can hear. I don't know. Maybe I was singing at the top of my lungs earlier today. I wanted to go over something, but I see that we're already 14 minutes in it, and I really appreciate you sticking in. But the thing that I wanted to go over is about 5 to 10 minutes long. It's long. So I don't really want this video to be a 25-minute video, although maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a teaser for tonight. So again, you're going to want to subscribe. You're going to want to turn on the bell so you get notifications about new videos drop. And it's a she. We're going to be talking about a she. And so it's going to be very, very interesting to hear what she has to say. You're going to want to hear that. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment, 8 for infinity and beyond, if that's where you want your portfolio. And the smashing of the like button. Listen, guys, gals, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have been lacking. We haven't hit 1,000 since the XRP ran up there in the beginning of the year. So you guys have been lacking. There must be some straight correlation. Who knows, right? There must be, right? It's the only logical reason, right? So don't forget to smash the like button. And again, check out the links in the description down below. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, or I will be in the future, let's make a lot of money.